in your eyes, the light, the heat.
Nick Lachey in the house. Woo!
I am.
We're so excited to have you here.
First time in the house.
First time in the house. Your wife beat you to it.
You guys vacuumed and everything.
We did.
Here.
It's a pretty clean place. Vanessa was just here a couple weeks ago.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard.
She speaks obviously very highly of you, but
She has to.
She has to, right?
She has to.
But she was funny because she was talking about, we talked a lot about fashion as girls do. We were talking, she says that, you know, you like her best in just jeans, t-shirt, no makeup kind of thing. Is that true?
It is true. It is true. Yeah, I mean, she's a beautiful girl. She doesn't need all that extra stuff. But at the same time, I do understand why, like, you know, women want to get pretty and feel pretty and the nails and the eyelashes and all that stuff. So I walk the very fine line of, baby, you don't need all that stuff too. Wow, you look great with that stuff.
3 hours later,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
It's a whole process. So the sing-off, we were just there visiting you guys on set. I like that you guys, it's been away for a couple of years, you've come back. And it's sort of like a new sort of premise in the way that you're condensing the series into sort of 2 weeks.
Well, it actually started out that way.
Did it really?
Seasons 1 and 2 were both very condensed around the holidays. And then it had done so well that NBC decided to move it to a full fall schedule, which didn't work as well for this, for this particular show. So we're very excited that it's going back to the condensed holiday kind of version because it's such a feel-good show. It's not a malicious, snarky judges.
No snarky judges.
It's all about kind of like trying to cultivate this talent and nurture this talent. It's very uplifting. It's just a feel-good show, and there's really no better time for it than the holiday season when families are watching TV together. And it's a feel-good time of year. So it really works well kind of in the version it is now.
So you obviously from 98 Degrees know what a great a cappella group sounds like. To me, they all sound fantastic when I listen to them all. How do you separate the great from the really, really great?
A cappella, when done really, really well, almost sounds like one voice.
Right.
I mean, it's so in sync and it's so in tune that it really feels effortlessly like one voice. When it comes off the tracks a little bit, you can hear it because if somebody's off and it's stuff, stuff starts clashing.
Now, are you giving them advice? Did I hear something about you give them advice and you're not sure if they want to take it?
Well, that's the story of my life. I give everyone advice, and
unsolicited?
Seldom does anyone ever take it.
I'll take some advice here, young Hollywood.
No, this is something we added this season is that in seasons past, the judges really didn't interact with the groups that much. It was a little bit of a separation. And when Mark Burnett came and took the show over, one of the things we changed on the show was that there's more interaction between both myself and the judges and the groups, because we've all been in this business and done this, and we've learned things the hard way. And it's great to be able to kind of share some of what we've learned with these groups and give them a little knowledge into what we've learned over the years. So I think that's a really cool kind of dynamic to the new season.
So give young Hollywooders out there some advice. What is Nick's A-list advice?
And Nick's A-list advice is listen to everything that Nick Lachey says. No, it's every group has their own. They come in with their own strengths and their own. Some are really technically very good, but their stage presence is not great. So that's the stuff they got to work on. Others are great performers, but hey, you were a little a little off there. I don't hear half the stuff that the judges hear out there. I'm side stage, and plus I'm just not as smart as they are. So they pick up on more than I do. But yeah, it really is just about listening to each other. That's what a cappella is all about. You've got to listen. Half of it's listening and half of it's singing.
Now, speaking of advice, did Vanessa, because she's such a fabulous host, has such a great background in hosting, did she give you any when you did this?
Hostess with the mostest. She does. Are
you as good at taking advice as giving it?
I'm probably not as good taking the advice, but I do really respect her advice. Obviously, she's my wife, but she's so good at hosting, and she's gotten all the experience of doing live TV. For so many years with TRL. She just is so quick on her feet, and she knows instinctively what needs to happen when it needs to happen. So she's a great kind of sounding board and a great barometer, and yeah, she's supportive. She tries to help out when she can. Sometimes I don't want to hear it, but most times I do listen.
Would you ever see you and Vanessa hosting a show together? I could see you as like Regis and Kelly, not the age part, but
it's funny because we both work in this field a little bit.
Yeah.
We've talked about it, and I think that we've smartly and maturely decided that the worst possible thing that can happen for our relationship is that we work together, especially in a hosting dynamic. So I think that we can safely assume that will not happen.
Do you have a moment that you feel maybe was an inevitable moment, that sort of everything sort of came together and it was just sort of right place at the right time and everything was sort of magical in a way?
Well, I mean, this particular show was very, very surreal to me and special to me because when we, started out 98 Degrees, we were, truly inspired by Boyz II Men to the point where we tried to get backstage and sing for those guys.
Did you crash any parties?
We crashed the backstage party and got on the radio and ended up meeting our manager, but did not meet them.
Wow.
And then when we got signed to Motown Records, we came in and sang a Boyz II Men medley a cappella. And that's how we got signed to Motown, the same label they were on. So, you fast forward years later and to be doing a show with Sean, who was one of our idols growing up, and then to tour with them this summer. It's a pretty surreal, full circle moment for both me and the whole group. It was awesome.
Are you guys going to be, writing new music together? That would be a great collaboration.
Sean and I?
Yeah.
We have not done that, but we should.
You absolutely should. And Jewel, you could get Jewel in there too.
We'll give you a commission on that, and you put that together.
Thank you.
You're like an agent.
I didn't even ask for it, but I'm glad that you're offering. This is fantastic.
Jewel is.
Yeah, let's talk about Jewel because she's the new addition to the show this season.
Let's talk about
Jewel. She's so ugly, isn't she? I mean, hideous.
Hideous. Heinous to look. No, I mean, I've jokingly said it made my job as a host a lot easier to look out and see her in these evening gowns, front and center, but aside from how good she looks on television in person, she's really, really kind of a natural at this. I mean, she's very, very talented, as everyone knows. Great songwriter, great performer, but very nurturing. I mean, she really gave a lot back to these groups, and you could tell she genuinely cared about what happened to them and about their experience, and just kind of jumped right in with both feet and hit the ground running. She was great.
Now, did I hear you're writing an album or something about soundtracks from films?
Yeah, I am. I mean, right now I have a Father's Lullaby, which is kind of my dedication to Camden, which is out now. But I am working on an album of all soundtrack songs that kind of were songs that were meaningful to me throughout my childhood.
Okay, so what's your anthem from your childhood, if you have one?
From my childhood?
Or growing teen years, awkward teen years.
Awkward teen years. It's probably Peter Gabriel, In Your Eyes.
I love it. I love it. How's that go again, Nick?
In your eyes, the light, the heat, I am complete. You're supposed to be singing the other line.
Oh, in your eyes.
Come on.
I didn't want to ruin the song.
I'm clearly older than you because that song doesn't resonate with you.
No, I do know that song. I didn't realize I was supposed to jump in. I would have absolutely destroyed it.
So it's all songs like that. They kind of were like moments in time for me as I grew up.
And what about now?
Now my favorite, it's probably Falling Slowly from...
That's a great song.
Yeah, and that was kind of like, it was kind of a song that Vanessa and I, we had it sung at our wedding shower. It's a very kind of meaningful song for us. So.
I could sing that with you.
Huh?
I could sing that with you. I know that one.
You do? I don't know if I remember how it goes now.
Falling slowly.
That's awesome. You don't need me. I'm going to bring you down.
You will not see me on the sing-off anytime soon. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Congrats on the show.
Thank you very much.
And come back anytime.
Love to, now that I know where you guys are.